Namaste and welcome back to Mindful Serenity Yoga, or Breaking Up in a Busy World with Nancy. Today I'm going to do what I started doing a few days ago, and that is to answer questions impromptu by pulling out a question from an envelope and doing my best to answer it within a 10-minute time frame. Right now I have 9 minutes and 34 seconds left. So I would like to pull out a question now and hope that I can answer it. Again, I'm going to encourage you to only take what I say with a grain of salt. First, listen to the question and then the answer, and see if the answer resonates within you. And if it does, please go check other resources and talk to experts about it. Again, I am no expert or no spiritual teacher or guru. I am, like most of you, just a learner, and this exercise is to help me assimilate my learning in an authentic way. So anyway, the question that I pulled out, I guess it's kind of correlates with what I just said, is what makes a spiritual teacher? So before I begin, I'm going to just take a breath of air and anchor myself and get centered so that the deepest part of me answers this question rather than my ego. What makes a spiritual teacher? That is a really wonderful question, and what I believe makes a spiritual teacher is not information or knowledge or a certain amount of reading of the scriptures or literature. It isn't about a collection of information and data out there from the external world. What makes a spiritual teacher, I think, more than anything else, is a willingness to learn. If you are at all familiar with A Course in Miracles, one of the bases of the teachings that of the Course offers the students is the fact that teaching and learning go hand in hand. When we teach because we want to learn, and we learn because we want to teach. I believe in myself as an educator for many years. Is the most important thing I would tell my students is to try teaching the information that I'm providing you to someone else who doesn't understand. And by doing so, you will grasp the knowledge and the learning a little bit better. So I do believe that teaching and learning go together. What makes a spiritual teacher then is someone who has the willingness to learn. I by no means, and I stress this over and over again, am a spiritual teacher at this point. I am not a guru. I am not an expert at anything. In fact, the more I learn, the more I realize how little I know. And the more I realize how little I know, the more I want to learn. And for some reason, this teaching is just a compulsive thing that comes out of me as I have this increased desire to learn. I want to say that knowledge is not learning. Knowledge in the form of concepts and ideas and ideologies and dogma is not really what we want to learn. We learn when we feel an eternal type of wisdom within us that we gain not from outside us through scriptures or through other people who call themselves teachers or gurus, but through this connection with a deeper part of us, the deeper self, the real self, that goes beyond what we identify as in the external world, as this form and this body and this mind and all the information it's picking up through the five senses. To me, a spiritual teacher is someone who can connect with that deeper part of themselves, or at least have a willingness to connect with that deeper part of themselves that is not intellectual or conceptual, but more of a intuitive type of wisdom. And that's what spiritual teachers give us, I guess. If you, for example, have ever listened to Eckhart Tolle, and when you're listening to Eckhart Tolle, you have this, I'm just using him as an example, I'm not by means promoting or anything, but when you listen to him, you find that, oh wow, something resonates, something he's saying is touching something inside of you. You're getting this sense of remembering more so than learning something new from what he has to say. He's opening a part of you. He's not necessarily opening, but what he has to say is somehow opening a part of you that allows all this wisdom that's already inside you to come out. That to me is spiritual teaching. It's more of a presence than a actual doing. What a spiritual teacher does is more of a presence and offering an essence and a doorway to open up the wisdom that's already inside you, rather than giving you something new and doing something special. I do not believe that spiritual teachers are special. I believe we all have the propensity to teach, because we all have that inner wisdom within us. And when we have that inner wisdom within us and we tap into it, we're almost going to be pulled to teach, you know, because we want to learn. And that's where I'm at. I am, like I say, I can't stress enough that I'm not no expert, and I don't want anyone to take what I have to say without checking it out for themselves first, and, you know, going inside and listening to what I have to say and seeing how it resonates within them, and if it, you know, leads to a little recall or memory or remembering something that they already knew, then to investigate it further by checking the external resources and checking with the experts if they need to. But the real teacher for all of us is the inner person within us, that deeper self, that knowledge that we all share, whether we know it or not, that goes beyond concepts and intellectualization. I think Anderson called it the one mind, the USC, the universal subconscious mind. You know, Jung would have called it the collective unconscious. You know, Einstein would have called it the field. So many different names for it, but it is this wisdom that exists within us that a spiritual teacher taps into. And again, the greatest teacher is going to be us, who we are within. Life has a way of opening up that door too, through circumstances, through creating challenges within us, around us. And with every challenge, we're given the opportunity to either back away from life or to embrace the learning that life offers. So we could even say that life is a spiritual teacher, in the sense that she's always giving us lessons to learn through. And that's why we're here. We're here to evolve to a deeper understanding, to remember who we are and remember that wisdom that exists within us. And sometimes we are given spiritual teachers in bodily forms outside ourselves to help us do that. And as long as they're offering us essence and presence, more so than more knowledge to pile up on the knowledge we've already overaccumulated as human beings, then they have the capability to opening up that doorway that takes us to that wisdom that's already within us. And sometimes it comes in scriptures, yes, but if we become too dependent on scriptures and dogma and beliefs that we've been conditioned to believe in, then we may actually thwart our learning and fail to reach that inner spiritual teacher that's within all of us. The Holy Spirit, I think the Course in Miracles would call it, you know, Shakti and Chi, and what other disciplines may refer to it as. So it's just a matter of tapping into that source of wisdom within all of us, that intuitive, energetic, hard to describe, the Tao says it cannot be named, essence that's within all of us. Is the true spiritual teacher, and it's just a matter of what tools have we got outside us that help us to tap into that. And sometimes it comes into the bodily form in another individual that helps to open that doorway for us. And sometimes it comes into the teaching in form of scriptures or external life events or whatever. But you, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, are the true spiritual teacher for yourself. And it's just a matter of tapping into that inner knowledge, that inner wisdom that goes beyond concepts and intellectualization that is already in you. Well, that's what I have to say. I'm hoping that answers your question. All the best, and namaste.